before we get started off into this video, I wanted to remind you guys that our spring and summer hunts are in full swing of things down at the real McCoy Ranch. There will be a website down in the description below. You guys can go check it out. There's a full price list. If you'll have any questions for me, my email and my Instagram is linked down in the description too. And y'all can click on that, send me an email, shoot me a message, whichever, and I can help get you booked. I'll be there as your personal guide and cameraman. I can promise you one thing, y'all have an absolute blast, a phenomenal experience. Be sure and check us out and come see us. Now let's get into this video. It's a rather interesting broadhead. The rocket broadhead. Pretty nifty. This is the rocket broadhead meat seeker. There's some specs on it. It's 3 blades, obviously, 2-inch cutting diameter, and then a 3.09-inch cutting area for optimal performance. First time I've ever seen anything designed quite like it. I'm interested to see how it's going to perform. That's exactly what we're going to do this afternoon. I got a rather large group of hogs coming in for the first time in months. I'm so excited to finally see some hogs showing up, as strange as that may sound to a lot of people. But we're going to give the old rocket broadheads here a go this afternoon. Should be pretty interesting. Right out of the box, I'm not a fan of bands. As you can see here, there's a little black band. You got to keep up with rubber bands. When I'm spotting and stalking, I like to be able to just pick up my arrow and my broadhead after I've stuck a pig and put the broadhead back together however that looks, and then it could be usable again if need be, without having to carry around some extra bands and take the time to do all that. Don't know anything about them. It was a recommendation from one of you guys. Thought the overall design with the piston was pretty stinking interesting, so they ended up in my Amazon cart and then in my quiver. You can pick them up at your local academy from what I've seen, but I'm not sure about anybody else that carries them. Anyway, Matthews lift set at 80 pounds. I've got a 28.5-inch draw, about a 515 grain arrow. Ultra view sight that I'm absolutely loving. It is a 3-pin, and ultra rest. Can't go wrong with an ultra rest. And today's verse of the day, and then we're going to go jump in the stand. It comes from Philippians chapter 1, verse 21. It says, "For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain." To help give this some context and make it make sense, verse 22 says, "If I am to live in the flesh, that means fruitful labor for me, yet which I shall choose I cannot tell." Verse 23 says, "I am hard pressed between the two. My desire is to depart and be with Christ, for that is far better." Verse 24 says, "But to remain in the flesh is more necessary on your account." As Christians, we're called to be a light in this dark world and share the gospel in every aspect and moment of our life. So for those of us that are believers in Christ Jesus, are we only hearers of the word, or are we doers also? Hope that convicts your heart today. And if you don't know who Jesus is, he's real easy to find. And if you would like to know more about him, there are several different ways to contact me down in the description below. And you guys can click on that, shoot me an email, shoot me a message on Instagram, and I'd be more than happy to point you in the right direction. Never too late, and God will meet you right where you are, regardless of what your life has looked like in the past. It's a wonderful gift. That said, let's go hunting. Well, you can certainly tell that the hogs have been here. Evidence of their existence is in the field over there in that dark brown spot. But that's alright. Got a rocket lined up for him. The wind isn't 100% perfect, but I'm hoping it'll be good enough for him to get in here. I would like for the wind to have a little bit more of an easterly kick to it, but I think we're going to be able to make it work. And pigs have been showing up here in about the next 30 to 45 minutes, so I'm hoping they repeat the same for this afternoon. We're going to quiet down and get to it. had to sit here and stop shaking like a leaf before I could talk about what just went on. I've been getting trail camera pictures of that boar, and I knew he was big, but my gosh, I didn't realize he was that big. Whenever he walked in, my jaw hit the floor. I'm like, oh my gosh. Those 4 shoats came from my left, and I picked out the darkest red one that looked like the biggest in the group, and I'm like, yeah, just give me a look, give me a good look. Dude never would give me a look, so I hear something, and I'm not even kidding when I say this, directly downwind of me. And when I hear it walking, I'm like, that's 100% a pig. So I just very slowly turn and look back, and sure enough, it's that spotted boar. I'm like, holy cow. Part of me was considering just drawing back and sticking one of these pigs right here in front of me, because I was like, he's directly downwind of me. There's no way this is going to work out for me. He literally walks up, crosses through the fence right underneath me, 10 foot from the base of my tree stand, and comes right on in like he owns the place, and everybody else just kind of gave him his room and his space. Then I had the red boar that I was originally after. He circles around downwind of me and comes out literally in the exact same spot and heads back to the feeder. And all I can think to myself is, this little boar right here is going to get downwind of me, he's going to smell me, the whole thing's going to be over, I'm toast. Which is what I thought was going to happen with the big one, but I thought it was going to happen with the small one too. A little shoat comes walking right on in. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then it took almost 10 minutes for that bigger boar to finally give me a look. And whenever he gave me a look, I drilled it. I sent it home. And it looked like I got decent penetration. Not great, which is kind of what I expected, especially for a boar that size. This is my second boar over 200 pounds from this set this year. It's been probably a month to a month and a half since I've stuck a hog here at this spot, which really stinks. But what's so awesome is that I'm killing some quality pigs. Like, I guarantee you that one's every bit of 225. He may go more than that. We may have to bust the scale out for this one. He is quite large. We're gonna go see how that rocket broadhead performed. I heard the pig back over here to my left. He's in no good shape, and I'm pretty sure I heard those final sighs. So I'm gonna give him like another 10 minutes. I'm gonna pack up, I'm gonna get down, and then we're gonna pick up the BT and see where it leads us. I was not expecting that big boar this afternoon, but it all played out. Thank you, Lord, for an awesome hunt. I hope y'all enjoyed the new camera angles. I added another GoPro to the mix of cameras, and I think it's so cool how it captures more of what I see and more of what goes on in an actual hunt instead of just 2 angles. So sweet. All right. I have bug fever. I love it. I just love it so much. Let's go find our pig. Scene of the crime, folks. He's standing right about here, dug out, and he cut hard here to the left when he came up on top of the little hill here. There's my first little teeny tiny speck right there. Camera's not focusing very well. There's my arrow in the dirt. Maybe 10 feet from the feeder. Oh look, there's some further back. I was just off a little bit. He hugged harder to the left in this brush than I thought he did. Now that that arrow's out, we really should start seeing it. Oh, we're seeing it pretty good now. I'm on it a lot better. I don't see a broadhead. Nope. But looks like much better penetration than what I thought. There's probably a foot or 14 inches there, and the outsert is snapped off. So that means that our head is probably in the pig. Can't forget that. Alright, here we go. Man, it's so thick. I love when they run this direction, but I also hate it at the same time because it is so thick. Should have worn my snake boots. Pretty doggone good, if I do say so myself. So far, anyway. That hog had a lot of thick hair on him. That's pretty epic. That's like fixed head, kind of a BT. Wow. Yeah, I could walk at a steady pace if there wasn't so much brush in here. Look at this. It's been like this all the way. There's a size 10.5 shoe for reference. Not only has he been dumping it really, really well, but also it's like landmines up in here. I gotta watch my ankle. My ankles. They've absolutely destroyed all of this area. It's been rooted up everywhere. That's insane. Wow. Well, I wonder who did that. I got one guess. Oh, wow. Insanity. That is so awesome. Yeah, I wonder who did that. I have one guess. Jeez. I have never seen anything quite like this out of a mechanical this big on a hog this size. Hey, take it easy, Dove. This is awesome. This is even better than the fixed blade head and some of the mechanicals that I've used in like the last, I don't even know how many videos. I wonder who did that. I bet I got a guess. Oh man. Looks like it's time to get on our hands and knees. As much as I don't really want to bear crawl through that. I don't have the words to tell you guys how good this is. From the first, I don't know, 5-6 yards in, it's been exactly like this. It's just unreal, to be honest with you. There's our pig. Like, I've seen whitetail do stuff like this, but boars this size, I just normally don't have this much success and this much loss. It's like I said, I just don't have words. It's incredible. Holy cow. What a boar. He's 250 easy. Oh my stars. And stinks. He always stinks. Dude is all there. His cutters aren't as big as I thought they were going to be. Must be a little bit younger boar. Short nose. Man. Big body though. Well, I just did the math. 96 yards is what he ran, and I tracked that, drew a line down the trails that we came in on, so it's plus or minus probably 5 yards. I feel like it's pretty close, but 90 to 100 yards on a over 200 pound boar, you can't beat that with a stick. That's pretty awesome. An absolute unit of a hog. I don't have my tripod to film this outro with, so we're gonna just do it right here in selfie mode. If I can get this hog out of here by myself, this video will continue and we're gonna get a weight on this dude. I'm telling you right now, he's 225, 250, maybe more. I wouldn't be surprised if he's more than 250 or knocking on the door of it for sure. It's my second pig over 200 pounds this year, and Lord willing, we'll have a few more before the year is over. I'm still extremely surprised and really fortunate as to how this hunt turned out, considering the fact that he came directly downwind of me. I had another boar as I was packing up come in, same exact trail. He caught my wind and smelled something he didn't like, and he disappeared. I tried recovering the broadhead. I dug around for it for a few minutes and I never could find it. Have no idea how it held up, if it even did at all. Being that I punched through that rib cage, I have a suspicion that the blades may be in pretty rough shape, but for a mechanical that has a 2-inch cutting diameter and over 3 inches total, just a 3-blade mechanical in general is not known for superior penetration. However, on this pig in particular, it sure paid off. And I'll tell you what, with the way the trail looked, the BT all the way in here, I'm just blown away at how good it was. Top 10 best trails I've ever followed down. And it reminded me of like a really, really, really good single bevel, 2-blade fixed head. Like that's what it reminded me of. This is my first pig with the Rocket Broadhead, and it probably won't be my last, and again, I'm just overall impressed. I know my draw weight is more than average, and my arrow weight is just a touch over average. I film and do these test style of videos to what's relatively close to many of y'all's setup out there. Now, granted, arrow weight, draw length, and shot placement all play huge factors in what just happened tonight and how it laid out. I'm beyond well aware of that, and when all your cards are stacked up right, I think the Rocket Broadhead is the head for the job. I mean, it's proved itself tonight, and I can't just one and done the head, so maybe we'll use it again at some point later this year. But there is no better test than a boar hog of this size with that kind of shield. It did it. It kept the hog under 100 yards, and if the brush in here wasn't so thick, I'd have walked at just a totally steady pace right up to this dude. And when you add all those things together, that is a huge win in my book. And my opinion of the Broadhead just shoots through the roof when something like this happens and plays out as good as it does. I have not good things to say about quite a few Broadheads. And you know what? If I gotta carry bands around so I can reuse a Rocket Broadhead, after what we did here tonight, I think it'd be worth it to carry some bands around as spares if I'm spotting and stalking on a group of hogs, just to reuse the Rocket Broadhead. There'll be a link for this head down in the description below. You guys can check it out. Very reasonably priced. I'm intrigued with the technology. I'd like to do some more research into it, maybe watch some videos from Rocket and see what they have to say about their technology and about their design and why they did what they did. And we can talk about that in the next Rocket Broadhead at some point this year. I'm sure I'll use it again. We can discuss it then. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that y'all enjoyed this one. I sure appreciate y'all being here. Be sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, especially if you like these kinds of videos. I'm doing them all the time. Y'all are awesome, and I'll see you in just a few days.
Hope they won't shoot me down soon.